Thank you all so much. It's really inspiring to be here at Maine, where the Green Party roots are going strong and getting stronger every day, and where so much of what we're about got started. And big thank you to the icons of the Green Party, some of whom are in the room here, John Rensenbrink in particular. Big thank you to you for keeping us going. And all the others. I mean, I think there's so many hidden heroes of this party, including Dawn here, who got rewarded today, as she should be. If we can give another round for Dawn. This is the leading edge of green inspiration and vision, I think. And Maine is just so full of that inspiration and that conviction, and so many things that you're doing now, from cannabis legalization, ranked choice voting, gardens and food sovereignty. You know, you're really leading the charge for all of us, the Clean Elections campaign, single payer, all of it. You know, we're in this together, and keep leading the charge. And what comes to mind right now is the one of the wonderful sayings of the Idle No More movement, to the effect, if I can get this right, I am no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I am changing the things I cannot accept. And that's what we're doing. The resistance is powerful, and we're doing stuff. You know, and it's not limited to big demonstrations, because big demonstrations don't necessarily, you know, you get out and you have a parade, and what's different? You know, it's not clear what's different. So 2 years ago, we had a climate march with 500,000 people, a climate march without an agenda, and, you know, really guided and inspired by the Democratic Party, which is unfortunately much of the organizing force behind these mega demonstrations, which are great at blowing off steam, but we need to do a lot more than blow off steam. Beyond the demonstrations, you know, we're doing stuff like, or GSD, getting shit done. We are doing that in a big way. The demonstrations that basically embolden the courts in order to put a stop to the Muslim travel ban. That was a remarkable accomplishment. We also stopped the attack on sanctuary cities. The feds were going to deny funding to sanctuary cities, and that was stopped, again, emboldened very much by the action at the grassroots. We are fighting pipelines and deportations and land theft and river theft and student debt and endless war. We are standing up, and we're fighting this. We're fighting nothing less than to halt the neoliberal assault on economy, ecology, peace, and democracy. This is, you know, essentially the paradigm of the last many decades. This paradigm of austerity, of deregulation, of privatization, and giveaways to the wealthy. That is, tax giveaways and then big bailouts like to Wall Street. This is sort of the unifying corporate agenda that has been, you know, just on the attack all around the world. And in order to really change things, that's what we got to change. So we've got all of our movements that are focused on pieces of that, whether it's to take back our human right to health care, which is a human right, whether it is to bail out the students like we bailed out the crooks on Wall Street. We got the power to do that for students, to make public higher education free, to really fund our public schools, to cut the military, which is not making us safer, is making us less safe, while it makes us bankrupt and takes almost half of your income tax is going to this bloated, not defense department, it's an offense department, and it's getting us into trouble. $6 trillion that we have spent on this war against terror, so-called, that has accomplished what? Created failed states, mass refugee migrations, and worse terrorist threats. We are not one bit better off, and it's just mind-boggling to hear both of the corporate political parties try to cheerlead us into more war, particularly in Syria. Hillary Clinton would have us, full speed ahead in Syria right now, and who knows, engaged in a nuclear war with Russia. And that wasn't like just our idea as Greens or my idea as a Green candidate opposing Hillary Clinton. This was actually the statement of the chair of the Joint Chiefs of Staff that Hillary Clinton presented with her policy of a no-fly zone. It really presented a real threat of spilling over into nuclear war in Russia. So, the point is that these two parties are not moving us forward. And even in the resistance to Donald Trump, which the Democrats are pretending to lead, we're not really seeing, are we seeing anything different other than the crisis that created Donald Trump? Remember, most people who voted for Donald Trump were not for him, they were against Hillary Clinton. So it's this crisis of neoliberalism that has created so much misery that paved the way, really, to this neo-fascism. And that's what history tells us. That's where neo-fascism comes from the desperation of people who then get demagogued into blaming other people and into a mindset of hate and fear-mongering. That's where this came from. So the solution to Donald Trump is not more of what got us here. The solution is a truly radical, progressive agenda, which we, the Greens, are all about.